Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. All right. So today I saw this very weird stock RWOD. Let me make sure my mic is on so I'm not looking crazy. Okay, yeah. RWOE, RWOD. This one did a little bit of moving in the pre or aftermarket and into the pre-market. Moved from $9 all the way up here to $30.50. So quite a bit of a move there. Looking at the higher time frames though, this chart, um, yeah, that chart just doesn't have a whole lot of story in it, a whole lot of, cyclical moving. It looks like it just was going kind of in an upward trend and kind of a straight line and then a big boom, right? So at this point, when you're looking at a chart like this, what do you think? You think, oh man, this thing has the potential to bounce, way back up or what? Because when you look on this chart, you can see the high is 12.19. So this thing is trading around 13.33. 13.33 up here, right? In comparison to where it was earlier, all the way up at $30, which isn't even, I mean, that's $15 above where it is right now. So, what's the possibility that this thing actually comes back down instead of going back up, right? I'm thinking it can come back down, maybe 12s or something like that, but I don't know. We'll see on the open. Right now, the volume on this thing is only 2 million shares. I also see one popping up. It's almost 10% up. It's DJT. It is not a low float, but it's got a million shares and it's almost up 10%. We like to observe the things up 10% first because usually there's some type of catalyst. Speaking of catalyst, let's go and look at RWOD. So RWOD is press releases. It released news on March 4th, which was a month ago. A new medical, or no, that's the name. A new medical announces key patents issued in China to protect this protein in gene delivery systems. Okay, so that was a month ago. So it doesn't really have a lot of news today. Let's click into this and see why. Well, this is a month ago. The news is just too old. We'll have to see what kind of, if anything, pops off after the open. But looking at the volume over here, this is telling me a lot, especially coming into 8 o'clock. Only 2 million shares traded. It is a low float stock, but one of the things we look for is cancerous stocks. We look for things that can explode, right? And looking back over here on the 15-minute, well, this one exploded once, twice, and with news from a month ago. So what's the possibility that people want to come and buy this thing and say, okay, I think I want to buy the 12 and see if this thing can get back to 20? What's the probability of that happening? You know, these are one of the stocks that I'm like, if it does do that, I'm okay with missing out on this type of one. If it goes from 20 to 30, if it halts up or something like that, gets a lot of people's eyes on it, I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I have bruises from ones like this, so you know, kind of. Even though it is over $5, it's up 61%. It may have a higher relative volume, relative standard deviation, but everything has to align. The chart, the daily chart, all the higher time frames. Just because it has some things that make it cancerous doesn't mean it has everything. You know what I'm saying? Um, Yesterday I did end up taking a trade on BPTH. BPTH, and let's flip over there to that. Okay, so this one, of course, you know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get that ATR high break and hold, right? Now, yesterday I followed my plan. I um was able to wait until the candle closed and not rush into something and get my shoes taken off. Let's go to where's my panning tool? Pan. All right, so right here, I watched, first of all, I always wait for the first 30 minutes to play out. Okay. So if I didn't wait for that first 30 minutes to play out and I actually got in on one of these counts, I would have got slammed on quite nicely. But I waited and then I saw this one going red. It broke down the ATR high, and I was like, ooh, this may not be the one for me, right? But I kept watching and it popped back up and cracked the ATR. But I said, okay, this time I'm gonna wait for the candle to close. So I waited for this candle to close here, and I actually entered this one at 623, right above the ATR high, looking for it to go for highs, go for higher. I really thought this thing could get to $7. I mean, in my head, that's where I had it, because the first thing that I called out in the Discord, which I don't have open. Come on, Discord, pop up. Come on, Discord, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Did it pop up? Yes, it did. Okay, it's on another screen. All right, so Discord, this is where we pretty much have a lot of combo about what's going on in the day after the stream, or if on days that I don't stream, we'll be in here. This was what I was looking at the top of the morning on yesterday. BPTH was the number one, BNTC, TR, and these were a little bit cheaper. These were like $1, but they were up, so I called them out. They were up to 100%. And a lot of times the reason I call these out is because if they're up 100%, sometimes they can suck away volume from some of these bigger movers. And so we were talking throughout the day, and I was like, yo, I think BPTH is going to be my main watch. I don't know how I was typing this. I don't know how I put a space in that, but it happened. A lot of sellers coming in, and this during this time, 857 was this candle right here. This one where he got slapped in the mouth right here. And I was like, that looks a little bit questionable. And then we kept on talking, and I was like, okay, a lot of sellers, he extended, and then it got halted down. Now it got halted down on this candle right here, halted down, and then opened up even lower. So I didn't take my trade yet. I kind of avoided all of that falling. And then where were we? Halted down. Selling pressure. Now it depends. Now Donnell was calling out 550. I was like, if it goes down to 550, I don't know, man. It might be over. And it did go down to 550. That's the thing. It went down to 550. And it actually, that was the bottom of the value level here of the volume profile that Donnell was calling out. Now I don't know if he's using the volume profile, but he was 550 was spot on almost. And then it bounced back up. So, but what I'm looking for when I see it inside of this ATR, between the ATR high and low, I'm thinking it's in consolidation, right? It needs to make a choice to get up out of consolidation, either exit the ATR low or exit the ATR high, right? So I'm not trying to be a buyer in here because it's always kind of choppy. And this one was kind of choppy anyway from the open. Good morning, Reliable. This one was already kind of choppy at the open. So I actually jumped in here when it came and closed this candle at 623 with 1,000 shares, right? And then I started, using the plan that I showed you guys the other day with the ATR breakdown, using the ATR in quarter amounts, right? So jumped in there, and this is basically how I was calculating. Yesterday it ended with the ATR of 86 cents. When I was looking at it, it was about 80 cents, right? So this is how I'm playing it. If it's 80 cents, I want to be moving my stop every 25% of that ATR. So every 20 cents, I'm looking to move my stop up, right? Now, remember, this one was choppy and it was also on a weak catalyst. So I was like, okay, I got a 623 entry. My first stop is going to be plus 20. So plus 20. And I moved my stop right under the 640s. So it's like 639. Because I always kind of give it that little extra protection of the 10-cent area. And if it stops me out, oh well. And so that's exactly what happened. It shot up so quickly and got punched in the mouth. and it was on this green candle that I entered. So I entered, came up here, and it got punched in the mouth, and I got a little bit of slippage on my entry. I 19. I was trying to lock up 20 cents of profit, but there was some slippage there. But yeah, stopped me out, and then I took a couple more trades because I was like, man, I really believe this thing can hit 7. So on the close of this candle, we got a little dip down on the next candle because it wasn't red yet. It dipped down to about halfway point, maybe like 650 level, and this is when I was talking about in here after I had got in. Let's see. $1 exit too soon. Donnell had traded one of these. I forgot. He said he exited too soon, and then I was like, okay, it was 9:30 a.m. I hit it with 1,000 shares at 623. Um, and I had put in my stop right under the 6. So risking about 20 cents down to see if I can get up to break even and start getting it, seeing it go up. So that's where my stop was, around 590, 590-ish area. I was typing fast, but it was 590 was the stop. Um, and so I had a risk of 230 on the trade at that point, and I was looking for 7. I literally put it in there. I'm looking for 7, and it dropped, and I got stopped on the drop, but I got stopped for profit because I was locking in that quarter amount. Let's jump over here to my Trader Sync, which tells the rest of the story. So Trader Sync is what I use to kind of keep my journaling. And so these are all the trades I took yesterday. The first trade was the biggest. I don't really understand. A lot of times I hear and see traders, they're like, yeah, I'm going to size up during the day. I'm like, why? Volume is going down. Why are you sizing up? I take my biggest and usually my best trades on my first trade. And then the things that happen afterwards, I make sure I size down and I'm reducing my risk not to give back profit. So, that's how I do it. Some people, they're like, yo, started with 1,000 shares, going up to 5,000, going up to 10,000. I'm like, okay, with volume going down, okay. Um, but anyway, so I took a couple of trades. This was the biggest one, 1,000 shares at that 623. And I really, the reason that I kept getting back in, I was looking for the break of 7. It came up 674, 694, 692. And I was like, man, this thing's got to break 7. But I was keeping my stops very tight on these. So for this one was a little bit bigger. And of course, there was a little bit of slippage on those big punch downs. So I gave back like 35 on that 100-share position, and then I really sized down on the next one. So at first I took 50, and I was like, okay, holding the 75, let's go ahead and get up. And I put in my stop right around that break even once it kind of got up, and then it snapped down. I was like, okay, whatever. Average exit, only a 2-cent loss. Then on this 10 cent one, there was a little bit more slam down. So I got a little bit of slippage on that one for 35 bucks. Then got back in for the 25 just to see if it can push over that 7. It could not. And then this one, let me see. This one was after the slam down. Came back to my original entry price of 622. I got back in at 622 just to see, hey, let's see if you can get back up. And it just couldn't. So whatever. I was like, I'm done with this, right? But yeah, took a couple of trades, but the biggest one, and then I just started sizing down. You can see the difference. 1,000 shares down to 50, 100, 25, 50, 40. I wasn't really trying to give back too much, right? And then on this winner, that I got stopped out on that slam. One of the things that I like about Trader Sync is that they allow you to put your stops in here, but they also allow you to see what your greatest potential on a particular trade was. And you can see my position MFE, which was like the most that I could have got out of the trade, that I saw when I saw it was not here. The best exit was 760. I saw 760 up there, and I was like, I could take this, but I think it's gonna break 7. But anyway, there was 2 positions where I was like, whatever. But yeah, I pretty much gave back a lot of profit and getting stopped out on that slam from 760 profit to like $100. I was like, oh well. But the thing was, I did follow my plan, putting in my stops where I needed to every 20 cents. And if it would have held up, I would have moved it up another 20 cents to 660 and then another 20 cents to 680, right? And so that would have been 100% capturing the full 80 cents of the ATR. And then above that, I just put that 100% in there, and that's my basis. So, whatever 623 up to, I think it was 680s, or what was this up here? $7 was what I was looking for as a target. So 623 minus $7, 77 cents, and then we multiply that by 1,000 shares. So that would have been $770 where the stop would have been placed. And then above that, it's all just like, let's see if it can do blue skies and just blow shorts out. So lock in that and let it run. But anyway, still a green trade. I'm not mad. I got in and was green, more green than I was on the beginning of the day. But I definitely really thought this thing could break 7. And it actually, on this red candle, got up here to 699 and plummeted all the way back down. And it was just, I was like, how is this thing failing like this? But I wasn't going to be in a position where I'm holding 1,000 shares all day on this, especially with the weaker catalyst. If it had a stronger catalyst, I still probably wouldn't have held. I want to continue to use the same strategy, no matter if it's a strong stock or if it's a weak stock. If it's a strong stock, it's not going to come back and stop me out. It's going to keep going. If it's a weak stock, I protect myself and protect my profits, from weakness. So anyway, yep. Reliable called out ABGA. Could be a continuation move today, and he also called out ZCMD. So let's those got to be cheaper stocks because I'm not seeing them on my scans yet. Okay, so I saw it for a little bit. AGBA up $1.50. What is the percent gain on this one? AGBA. Percent gain is 49 cents, 49% right now. And then the other one he called out was ZCMD. So let's see about that one, up 92% on this one. Kind of looking like it's in consolidation, but it could try to test. I don't know the different catalysts. Let's go and look at these catalysts: AGBA, and ZCMD. ZCMD up 91%. I'll start with this one. Looks like a Chinese stock. Zhongchao Inc. announces successful medication assistance services for over 7,000 SLE patients with approximately 130,000 units of medications. That news was on March 12th. March 12th. That's about a month ago. And we'll see what kind of action this. And when we see these that have the older news, they're purely technical traders. So there's no, if it's going to go up, you just got to be quick. And then ABG or AGBA. ABGA. Let's see what you got. HHTrader. This has news from 46 minutes ago, so a little bit more recent news. ABGA says 4 billion merger. So this is merger news. Shareholder value to new heights immediately and for the long term. Okay, so that seems like a promise that they're making that I don't know if they can stand behind. We'll see. Let's see. Merger agreement. ABG with Triller Corp, a leading artificial intelligence. So it does have some keywords: AI driven social video platform. Upon completion of the transaction, AGBA will become a Delaware corporation that wholly owns Triller. Okay, so it's actually acquiring another company, existing group. They got their little white papers here. The board of directors have agreed to value the combined group at US 4.0 billion. So this is the board of directors. Now I don't know what other analysts are going to value this company yet, but this is from the people that own this stock. So they're saying it, you know, we'll see. We'll see what the people think, how the valuation goes. Let's see, 32 million. So they're talking a little bit of monetary numbers here and percentages, but we'll have to see what the people decide on this one. The board of directors, you know, they're not that big. But let's see. Back over to, well, I don't know which one I want to watch out of the open. I might watch ZCMD. I don't know. ZCMD. I'm going to watch AGBA out of the open, actually, because it's got the news. So that's the one I'm going to watch. Looking over here on the scans, it hasn't started calculating the new ATR for these or the relative volumes. I'm pretty sure that they are abnormal with it having 20 million shares traded on it. Let's actually go look at the float, because I'm looking at these shares here. This one says 74 million. Then ZCCM says 2 million on the float. So let's actually go and look at those floats and verify this. So let's go to AGBA first. All right, and statistics. And this is based on Yahoo Finance. We'll jump over to some other sites here soon. Finance. AGBA. You gonna pop up? Okay, there you go. All right, now statistics. The float is looking like 17.1 million on this one. A lot of insider holding. And remember, these insiders probably are the board of directors, right? They got 78.28%. So we'll see how this thing acts and when they want to actually try to sell, right? On AGBA. And then let's go check FinViz as well. AGBA. We have shares outstanding, 68 million. Float is 17 over here as well. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Reopen. AGBA. We have about 8 minutes to the bell too, and we're going to circle over to ZCMD as well. No shelf registrations out here. AGBA. Shares float, short interest. Shares float not showing up there. Okay. All right, so overall we saw 17 million in the float. We know that the insiders are holding a lot. And we know that the insiders are also putting out the news that they value this thing at 4 billion. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's jump over to ZCMD. Zong Chao. Float of 1.3 million on that one. According to FinViz, let's jump over to ZCMD. Float of 1. Yep, same float of 1.4. And ZCMD. Float 1.47 again. Shelf registration, but this shelf registration is older, from 2021, so that's pretty old. If it was an automatic shelf registration, it probably could still be inactive, but usually shelf registrations last for 2 years, and then they kind of fall off the map. Short squeeze. ZCD. This one, shares float, same thing. So all of them have the same shares float out here. We're just going to have to see the reaction. We have about 6 minutes to the bell, and we'll be watching both of these out of the open. ZCMD and AGBA are the two cheaper ones that are moving. I just don't have a lot of faith in these ones right here that are above $5. RWOD has a horrible chart. And then DJT is already kind of extended up $36. And I don't know what the new relative volume will be. All of these have lower volume as well. None of them cracking even 5 million for these top four here on the volume or percentage gainers. So we'll watch the things that actually have volume. ZCMD, like I said, this one was kind of looking like it was in consolidation. It has a low down here of 227. It has a value area from aftermarket that the pre-market did not exit. So it still has a choice to go either way, either under 250 or over 325 up here. We have less than 5 minutes to the bell. Let's look at AGBA. It has not calculated its new ATR yet, but we can see the value level is trading above yesterday's value level. A lot of shares traded in here, and then now today the volume trading higher in here. So AGBA is probably going to be the one to watch out of the open, but I'm really not sure. We'll have to see. It looks better than ZCMD, so that's the one I'll be watching out of the open. AGBA. 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes. Let's get it, and it's very thickly traded. We can look out here on the active trader and see how thickly traded it is. These are some huge sizes with not a lot of motion between these numbers. And you can see the people just rushing in there trying to buy because it's so cheap, just rushing in there. Very, very crowded area in here. ZCM, not the same story, not really rushing anything. So yeah, AGBA is going to be the most interesting out of the open. Nice call out for Reliable. Rudy. Reliable also says keep VTSI, swing on watch. If it gets over 17, could get spicy. We'll see. VTSI. VTSI. And let's go over here to the larger time frame. And let's see what we got here. VTSI. Yeah, it's definitely moving up. Got over 5, got over 10, up to 13 something. I don't know. Let me see. Is that a VTSI? That is not a dividend play. I'm guessing you're swinging that one. But yeah, let's get ready for this open. Watching AGBA out of the open. Also, let me pop up the disclaimer. Disclaimer, remember any technical analysis you see here, any thesis that I build needs to be taken as a grain of salt. Form your own thesis. You can just kind of take my idea and reshape it to your own system. But yeah, I'm pretty much looking out, and doesn't mean that I'm gonna trade these, but I watch these for case studies and educational purposes. The ones that I like to trade, I'm not seeing right now. Usually I'm trading things above $5 that can give me more range. But there is opportunity. There is opportunity down here. I just have never found this opportunity good for me. I traded under or these cheaper stocks for a while, and I just lost money. To be honest, that's where the majority of my losses is these cheaper ones. But I only know that because I have the statistics. I have my journal, and I'm able to put all of the price levels and the different variables together and say, okay, this is taking my shoes, my socks, the clothes off my back, and I can't even afford cereal now. But with this new kind of build out and getting rid of those old trashy variables, I've come into some better trades where I can manage my risk, and I come in with a clear mindset with, a lot of confidence behind the trade. But we have about 30 seconds left. Reliable also said WISA could have some left as well. We'll see what WISA's got. Is it over 10%? No, it's not. Okay, we're gonna focus on these two right now. AGBA coming into the open, 10 seconds left. AGBA, where's your new ATR gonna be? Where's your ATR high and low? Okay, ATR out there, ATR high is the 150, ATR low is the 139. Very thickly traded stock here on the first candle. Popping up there to that 158, right through the ATR high, right through it. And looking like it wants to push. The high of yesterday was 166. So we'll see how that does. Also, I want to flip over here to ZCMD real quick. It's got its ATR here. Looks like it's going towards the lows. So yeah, AGB is going to win out on this one. Let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. Struggling with the ATR high there at the 158, but still very, very bullish. Not going towards the ATR low just yet. ATR on this one is 16 cents. So ZCM is ducking on down, getting on down there. AGB looking like the better play. The way that I would play this, like I said, I do quarter amounts of the ATR for my stop losses. So I say, okay, well, if the ATR is 16 cents, I want a quarter of this move, right? This is where every time it makes 4 cents, I'm moving my stop. Now, again, I like the bigger moves. You know, I like bigger moves than 4 cents. Now, if you're taking that big size and that big, wow, AGBA all the way back down to the ATR lows really quickly. It's going to have to hold this up. And remember, the way that I think about this is if it's in the middle, it's probably consolidation. So it's got to make a decision, and it is making a decision outside of this ATR low there. Going down a little bit, popping back up, but it's still, if it just stays in here, it's just consolidation to me. It's going to have to make a choice. CZMD did the same move towards the ATR low. Both of them going to have to show strength. If we look at the value level, the bottom of the value level here, it crashed below, which was the 250 that we were looking at. And it's going to have to get back above that 250 to even do anything to the upside. But AGBA, big consolidation right now. We'll see how that goes, where that goes. Okay. And looking for some things above $5 to be popping as well, but not seeing anything yet. AGBA just continuing to come down to this bottom value level of the 128s. Big 95% on the sell buy indicator. Sellers getting in there and getting active. Let's look back over here. ZCMD testing the bottom of what looks like consolidation here. It did test the bottom of the previous day's 240 as well. So I'm wondering, can it get back up in here and hold up the 250s? The only one that I see that is above $5, it just looks horrible. Look at this thing. RWOD, just horrible. And it's coming back up. The ATR high is the 1356, ATR low is the 908, but I don't think I'm too interested in that. We'll see if these little ones wanna play. ZCM continue to dump down, touching and pushing down the bottom level here, the low of day. Down here at the 229 low of day. And then AGB also sitting on the ATR low. Still very thickly traded. Now, some people say, you know, you can manage your risk a little bit better on these cheaper ones because their ranges aren't as big, right? They're moving, you know, 5, maybe 10 cents, like struggling to move 10 cents. But if you're taking bigger share size, it doesn't matter. If you're taking 10,000 shares and you lose 5 cents, that's still some pretty good money that you lost. AGBA popping back up here into a big indecision, and this between this level is just consolidation to me. Until it breaks this 159, it's not even bullish to me. It's just consolidation. It could easily turn around and go back the other way. ZCM losing a little bit of attention. AGBA with 36 million shares traded into this indecision candle. It's tested the high and the low here. It's got to get back over the highs to prove that it's bullish though. Reliable Rudy says low float oil names moving a bit. So I'm guessing you're talking about INDO, HUSA. INDO getting a little pop up there. Only up 12%, but it is under 5, so it's not gonna pop up on my scans, I don't think. Let me look over here at the oil and see what oil is doing. Oil is coming down. What? Okay, oil had a brief pop up. Okay, I was about to say oil is coming on down back into this consolidation level. We'll see if it finds resistance at the ATR high here of the 82.35 and starts to come on down, or if it wants to break and retest this 82.73 above the ATR. But yeah, we'll see. We will see on oil. Back over to AGBA, still in a period of indecision. And ZCMD. Okay. Looking for more volume. Where's that volume, bro? Let's get that volume up. This one looks like it's going to get back over ATR high, but it's just such an ugly pattern. Just hate it. A month from now, May 28th, we won't have to be worrying too much about the whole PDT thing. We'll have our funds back every single day, ready to trade. And so I'm thinking that's going to call for bigger moves. People not having to wait for their money to come back to them. I'm thinking it's going to be some bigger moves. But I want to do my due diligence and observe the market and get the data points before, trying to attack super big. I play the same and just kind of see what's going on. It's going back towards ATR low here. It keeps just kind of teetering between the two. I know it's tearing up some pockets on the lower time frames, but that's why we're looking at the 15 minutes, so we don't have to see 100 candles. We can just see the actual motion. ZCMD still holding under the ATR. This 15-minute candle will close at the 45, so it's got a little bit of time on it. This one just keeps switchblading. Donnell said lame scan for small caps for sure. AGBA, ZCMD is just, that's the best you got. If you're under $5, I want to see you over 100% moving. I want to see you blowing people away. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, hopefully you guys have been having a good week, getting you some profits out of the market this week. Definitely was one of those weeks where I'm like, I'm green, but I wish I could have done a little bit better taking profit on the profit that I had in my hand when I had it yesterday. Nice quick 600 bucks. Take it off the table and run, but I did not run. I was looking for higher. And I think I want to stick to that because, like I said, if it was a strong stock, I don't want to be exiting early because it's weak. I want to stick it out. And if it follows my plan and all of that stuff and it continues going up, I can capitalize on the whole move with 1,000 shares. So I'm like, I'm not going to change what I'm doing. I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to try to get that ride up. AGBA, though, finding a little bit more sellers, but not making a decision to exit either one of these zones. ZCM popping back over the ATR low. Reliable says, I couldn't tell you why I think this rips today, but I'm interested. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe if it could just start short squeezing over ATR high, maybe. If we look at the higher, I didn't even look at over here at the higher time frames. Looking on the monthly chart, we can see that it has a history of doing this kind of thing, popping up, dropping. Now I don't know if these prices are because of a reverse split, but it does show in the patterns themselves pops and drops. So I would say just be careful and be quick with whatever you're gonna do. Let's look on the weekly chart. Same mo, pop and drop. Looking on the daily chart, indecision yesterday, and this is the day. The ATR low here is the 132 on the daily chart. So if it breaks that down, might be a little bad for it. Let me mark that. A 130. Where's my 132 there? Below that level of 132 could get nasty to the downside. Maybe it'll be able to hold it, but I don't know. Let's jump over to ZMD. I forgot to look at these higher time frames because I wasn't interested. But since I don't see anything that I like, might as well come over here and look. ZCMD, popping drops, same MO on this one. Kind of barcodey too. Looking at these little candles in here, kind of barcode movement. All right. It is coming down to its ATR low. It came down and tested it at the 230s, but look how far it is away from the ATR high. Ugh, got a lot of work to do, and I don't know if it has the catalyst to do that. But let's jump back over. Everything's kind of looking wishy-washy, but I let the first 30 minutes play out, and then I kind of decide, okay, is this thing actually bullish, actually bearish? Because a lot of times during this initial 30 minutes, you'll see people do very large positions and then size down throughout the day. So, the biggest positions are coming in here, and as the volume drops, people start to size, or at least professional traders start to size down. If they can't get it off the rip, they just are like, yeah, let me stop losing money and size down. Okay, so ZCM is just struggling on that ATR low mark from the daily chart. And you can see the difference between it and the regular. The regular ATR low on the 15-minute is 238, and this one is 229. They're close because this is a cheaper stock, but with the bigger range stocks, sometimes it can be a very big difference between the two. All right, AGBA looks like it wants to try for the highs now of the 159. It's going to need to hold a body candle above the 159 though. Looking on the higher time frames, we can see out here on the 4-hour chart where the ATR is out here, 170. So it's quite a bit of ways away from that. And that's why you have to do multiple time frame analysis. Right here, this 15-minute breakout is then going to, or I said right here, this 15-minute breakout is then going to have to get through these ATRs at the 170, and then well, what is this one? 166, 170. It's a bunch of ATRs out here on each level that it's got to get through. If they were more aligned and it broke out, it would probably be a more powerful move, but we'll see. We'll see if it can hold green on the day, but right now it's just big indecision. All right, ZCM continuing to push down towards $2. Pushing for lower lows out of this one on ZCM, looking more and more bearish. And now how I play these on the higher price stocks is if it's below the ATR low, I'm playing in desperation mode. So I'm buying green candles, looking for them to go higher. And then if they go red, I'm immediately out because I'm already fighting a downtrend. I'm already fighting something that is not in my favor. If it's above the ATR high, I'm much more in favor of it being bullish. Okay, AGBA continues to pop green, but has not worked its way to getting a body above that 159. It's working on it though. It's working. Still looks the best on the day now though. Pushing on up there. Oh, stopping, new candle forming right at the ATR high. Showing a little bit of respect. Can it get a pullback? It's pulling back now. Can it get a pushback up and through? We see the volume coming in there on this level. More volume. The control level is down here at the 139. If it continues to get trading up here, though, the control will move up. And we'll see what happens there. But it's got a body of this candle at the 148. So let's see how it respects the 148 here. Let me see. Let me see. I honestly couldn't tell you. Talking about WISA. WISA. WISA, WISA. Okay, WISA is above the ATR high there. What is the volume on this one? WISA. Only 1 million shares in the volume. Okay, and it's only up 10%. Okay. So maybe it goes higher, but it would definitely need more volume to pique my interest. Going up though. Going up. Look at the looking at this daily chart. Has a ATR of 741 after falling down and forming what looks like a little bit of a inverted hammer, but this isn't really a trend, so you know it's kind of like consolidation. I wouldn't call this a true inverted hammer, but it is quite a ways away from the ATR high up there of 742. It looks like it's reaching the ATR high on these lower time frames, but the higher the time frame that it gets out of, if it's above the ATR on the daily, it's really above all of the ATRs on all of the other time frames. So kind of focus in on this one a lot on the daily. Anyway, find a little bit of pressure up there. And we're just watching them all. What's up? 14%. ZCMD finding a little green out here in the graveyard down here, but it is below all the ATRs now. And then AGBA did break down the body of this previous candle, touching the control point in here at $1.40-ish. Will it go ahead and rush through that control point, or does it want to get back up? And like I said, it's got to break over. It's just not breaking over. And if it goes under 132, which is only 10 cents away, it's going to be pretty bearish. Okay, WISA still popping around as well. And looking over here on the scans, I'm also looking at how much relative volume is here. Usually we're looking for relative volume to be abnormal. This is not even 1 times its regular volume here. And the relative standard deviation isn't even, 0.50 of the standard deviation. So ZCM and AGBA, their relative volumes is 57 times the on ZCMD, and then 26 times on AGBA, much higher, and then the standard deviations are much higher as well. So I don't know about WISA. I'll let WISA do its thing and take souls on its own. It's not cancerous enough for the explosion that we're looking for. And even if it does go, whatever. AGBA though, sacrificing souls down below the ATR low, down to this 132. We just called this out like a second ago, that if it gets below this, it's going to be very, very bearish, and it's attacking that 132 right now. This is what we would call a bearish tweezer move, where a candle, the full length of the candle, the bodies are almost aligned, and then one candle takes out the whole body of the other candle. This is a bearish tweezer, indicating that it's trying to go down, right? So, and it broke down the ATR low, which is a compounding variable there that it wants to go down. All right, back over here to ZCMD, trash. WISA continue to go up, trying to test the $7 and continue to find a little bit of resistance. but it's above the ATR high, so people probably still thinking, hey man, let's just continue trading this thing as long as we can until it fails back below, what is it, 626? 626 failure will put it in the ground. So I got about 10 minutes left on the stream. We'll see what happens. Whistle doing his thing around here. And, you know, at this point, AGBA is just trash to me. Probably not going to get back up. If it does, that'll be a very uncalculatable transaction. ZCMD also dead in the water to me. But yeah, whistle with a lower relative volume and nothing in the relative standard deviation. Probably a negative relative standard deviation. But up 23% in these first couple of candles. Nice, reliable going in on whistle. Well, somebody bought your shares when you were selling. Somebody definitely bought them because it came down under those levels, 719. We'll see what happens back towards that 7 when this candle closes. Let me look through some of these other ones here. Netflix is down. Meta is down. Google is down. All of the tech companies are down. ExxonMobil's up. Okay, interesting. Let's see how much of a move this thing is going to make down. Now, the other thing is when you're doing patterns, a lot of the patterns don't matter until you get to the end of the move. So if it's going up, you know, you have to kind of look for the next support zone or resistance zone to know, hey, is this the end of the move? Is this somewhere it can slow down? Is it coming into a whole dollar level? Is this whole dollar level close to obvious support? You know, or will it become obvious support? Do I need to wait for it to become obvious support? But yeah, now it's coming back down to the 7s, coming on down. And let's see if it fades below all of the ATR. So right now it is below the daily ATR. It is below the 4-hour ATR. It is coming back towards the 1-hour ATR, which is 685, under 685. And then on the 15-minute ATR over here at 629. So we'll see. Actually, let me mark those so we'll know when it's under. So here, let me get rid of this one. Remove. We'll mark this daily ATR high, 746. We'll mark the 4-hour. Is that right? 757. I'll have to move that up. 757. And then over here, 683s. And then out here on the 15-minute, 630. So we'll see how it does in these levels. Does it want to get back towards that 7? Coming into the close of all of these. Coming on back down. Can it go ahead and crack this 684 out? It's got 4 million shares traded, almost 5 million shares. And relative volume is almost 1 times the normal. Wow, okay. Let's see if it wants to crack back down. And now looking out here on the, and this is what I'm looking at for the relative volume. WISA has ATR of $1.47. Looking for this to be abnormal though. It's almost 1 times. And maybe if it reaches 1, maybe the standard deviation will increase a little bit, but it's just not. It's just not right now. Still up 20% though. I'm seeing a very cheap one, EGOX. That is a super cheap stock. What is it doing? It's up 100%. And remember, I'm looking for things over 100% to see, you know, what's going on over here. Let's put our eyes on it. So EGOX moving, oh my gosh, move from 4 cents to 8 cents. Okay, so this is not Ugh. What is the catalyst on this? EGOX. This is a super cheap one. Last time it had news was on the 2nd. It says that the application of open insolvency of the nope. We're good. Let's jump back over to WISA. All right, WISA popping on the charts now. If it crosses 5 million shares traded, it will pop on my regular trading or day trading criteria met type thing. But you know, with the moves that it's showing, we'll see if it go ahead and capsizes. Holding right above the 7s for now. ATR, I mean, not the ATR, the relative volume is so close to being abnormal. So close, but just not there yet. Almost there, almost to 5 million. 5 million must be, yeah, it's definitely close. It just reached 1 times its relative volume. One multiple of its normal relative volume at 5 million, and it's going up. So now volume is coming in. As relative volume reaches that first deviation, we're seeing sellers come in on this thing. And they're bringing it down to that, what time frame was this? The hour ATR. Can they crack this 684? Didn't quite get up here to the higher ones. And now 684 coming into question as shorts are jumping on board. 680s. What are they going to do? Got 4 minutes left until 9 o'clock. This candle will be closing. And I'm expecting a nice red move from the 684 back down here to the 630s. Nice red move. So like I said, when you're finding cancerous stocks or ones that are becoming cancerous, it's like it works with shorts or longs. Like it's the same thing going either way. Finding something that's going up, is super extended, and it hasn't reached relative volume, and now it's reaching relative volume at the top of the move. People are interested in maybe a reversal, you know, trying to hold up that $7, but continuing to those sellers coming back down to 7. Let's look at the volume chart here. So the majority of the trading for this one came at 552, and those guys made quite a bit of profit. It crossed, but has not got over this whole area from yesterday. Back here. Whew, getting up there and touching that top ATR. So it touched all of the ATRs. Now it's got to hold. It's got to hold 750 or shorts are going to knock it in the mouth. So it's touched all of them. All of them. So it gave shorts multiple levels to get in. And if they're really professional, they got in on this 750 level looking for it to go down. So we're almost 2 times. We're heading up to 2 times the relative volume. We got 6 million shares on this one. It's getting pushed back. 684 is the failure point. Somebody is holding it above 684 for this little gash down back towards the graveyard. EOG EGOX continuing up 124%, but it's just not moving much at all, from 4 cents to 8 cents. And that's a pretty, not even a big move for it. 125%. Okay, back over sevens. Waiting for the big fail. We have 1 minute left until 9 o'clock. New 15-minute will open, and I'm thinking we're going to see a nice little gash down. So new 15-minute open there. Let's see it go ahead and break down this 684 with a little bit of conviction. Come on, shorts, get up in there. Looking at the buy sell indicator, we want to see the shorts get to 50%, get to 50-50, and then start pushing to 70s. So that's what we're looking for. 40, 30, 50-50. There's 60. Let's get 70s. Almost. 60s. That's 80s. So they're getting what they want here. So let's see if they can crash out 684. Crash it out, big boy. 684 crash out point. Push, push, push. Push, push, push. Push, push, push. Okay, almost got down there. Through a little wick 690s. Of course, this candle has a whole lot of time to trade. Almost reached it. Did not get an exact touch there, though. Back in the indecision up here. So where would shorts be covering? Would they cover up here at the top? 750, past 750, be getting out and just holding for that next winning position, 686, 629. Just let it continue to ride down for them. Will this be a short squeeze on Wissa? Because they're definitely not really wanting it to go down yet. But I guess that makes sense, because if you've got millions of shares to collect, you want to keep it alive for a little bit, but you really don't want it to exit this little range here. Oh boy, tell you what. So at this point, like if I was coming in looking at this, I'd be like, okay, where do you even try to attack this thing? How do you even try to attack this thing with these low values, right? Not even 2 times the normal volume and very low relative volume. It wouldn't even come up on my scan, to be honest. But if I start shorting, I would definitely inverse that thing and be looking for these things right here. We're looking for this type right here. Let's find things doing this. Can we get back to 0%, from 20% all the way down to 10, 10 all the way down to 0%? Let's see if we can crack back down the sevens. It keeps struggling at the sevens, but less and less buyers are trying to facilitate this holdup. Some big share sizes coming in here. There's a little bit of fall. Let's get all the way to 684. Right above that 7, just does not want to break. Interesting. It's still on a lower high though. It's not like it's thrown a wick up to the top of 750. Okay. I'm tired of watching this, and this is not going to be something that I'm trading. If it does do a short squeeze, congratulations, Reliable Rudy, getting in there and doing what you do. Um, but this thing, I don't really, I'm not too interested. It's above $5, but I don't like the daily chart. Don't like that it doesn't have any. I don't think it had catalyst on the day, did it? Whistle. Whistle strikes game-changing fifth Whistle E licensing deal with global consumer electronics leader. That was a day ago. They did not name the electronics leader though. So it's been having a couple of, a little bit of news, but we'll see. We'll see if it wants to really wild out and get down. But it's definitely taking its time around this seven, giving giving shorts and longs plenty of time to get in so it can make a decision. But it seems like a little bit too much consolidation. Seems like the end of the upward move. All right, we finally ready to crash. 698 had a huge size at 698. I want to see 698 break. That was a huge size. Let's see. 698. Watch them pop in. Oh wow, slip right through it. That was not a good look. Okay, there's 698. Look at those big sizes. They're coming in there. You're so brave. Yeah, they're gonna run out of buyers here in a little bit. They keep doing that, getting sold through like that. Anyway, like I said, I'm wasting time looking at this. I can go and make some money doing something else. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I went a little bit over time, I guess, but yeah, Friday days are kind of like this, a little bit lower volume days. And a lot of times people come in with desperation when they haven't, made what they want to make during the week, or if they're like super red on the week, they're like, well, it's Friday. Let me just see if I can, make something back. But really, Fridays are kind of like to put a cherry on the top, right? Because we know that they're natural sell off days. So it's like, hey, if you can get profit on a Friday, just be glad, just be appreciative, and get on out the way, have a good weekend. But forcing something on a Friday is just like, you got next week, bro. Just calm down. Anyway, that's it for me today. Appreciate all of you for tuning in again on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, everywhere else, YouTube. You know, appreciate all of the input. Reliable Rudy, Donnell. I believe Laura Lee was here. Yep, Laura Lee is here. And then Mike D. Shout out to everybody. Y'all have a great weekend. And this thing just looks like it's gonna squeeze here, doesn't it? It's really gonna treat the shorts bad today, huh? That's what it's gonna do. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. It's going back up there, throwing wicks. Yeah, shorts about to get done dirty if it gets over 750. This is gonna be looking real bad. Ugh. 740s. I saw those big sizes coming in. I was like, if they rip through that 98, it's gonna be over with. But let's see if shorts are going to allow them to torture them today. Another little push down, but this candle has not closed yet. So it does not mean that it's over. It's got what, 7 minutes left on this candle. So it could rip still, even with this little pullback. Anyway, man, this thing keeps pulling me back to watch it, bro. I'm about to leave. Leave me alone. I'm good. I don't want no parts of Whistle. Okay, so you guys have a great day. Definitely be looking out for the fall off of Wissa, and we'll see if we can see it back at 0%. But it's just looking like it's taking souls on both sides on today. I'm leaving for real this time. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.